Set for action today, the officials Joe Cieslak, Brendan Lehane, and David Mueller presiding over this Big Ten matchup, a top 10 matchup. Maryland ranked number 2 in the land, Penn State number 9, each of them sporting a record of 5-2. Big Ten lacrosse in the spring of 2023 is off and running. Luke Wierman to draw for Maryland. Chase Mullins for Penn State. The visiting Nittany Lions in the blue get the first possession.
Yeah, Mullins wins it clean. Behind him to his wing. That is another error. You're going to hear that throughout our show today. Joe slap check on his bottom hand. Great goal by TJ Malone.
Terps get the ensuing draw. Possession coming up for the guys in white. Ajax Zapatello, outstanding close defender, will bring it along. Top of the
spread out, and Whittier takes advantage of that free space.
1-1 game as we near the midway mark of the opening quarter. Maryland nearly double digits in shots in this opening frame, and we're barely at the 7-minute mark.
Of that number 8 over the years, formerly worn by Roman Puglisi. And Kohler, the nephew of Brian Lucas, former Johns Hopkins Blue Jay. His brother, Jason, plays for the Delaware Blue Hens as an offensive midi. Eric says, I can get into the action too. Hangs out after clearing the ball. Early offense for the Terps as Kohler with the worm burner solves Fracion and puts the Maryland up by a goal.
Goals in back-to-back games for Kohler. He had one against Virginia. Wierman comes up with another draw, better than 500. Face-off wins now for 52 in the whites.
Yeah, and everybody's saying, well, you know, people are starting to catch up to Wierman. They're starting to figure him out. If I need a face-off win at any particular point in the game, one possession, one guy to take it, 52 in white is who I'm choosing. We saw Mullins win that first clamp between his legs very clean. Ever since then, Wierman has not lost a face-off.
His coach just...
And we get them tomorrow night in Columbus. Can't wait to see that new facility for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Here, here. Jeff Tambroni's squad, Penn State in town for Maryland. It's the first of a doubleheader today of Big Ten men's lacrosse on the Big Ten Network. Johns Hopkins and Michigan will follow from Ann Arbor.
I'll pop out and get open, and I'll bury it. The Trainer brothers connect.
Jack Trainer off this draw here. Wierman going to the goal. That ricochets around. Rattled off the post right to Kelly as the Terps were looking to respond in a heartbeat. Urksa dragging it away, and there's a whistle that blares out. They need a shot clock reset.
Action.
As he collects his faculties there on the sideline. This is the third time the game has been tied. It's 3-3 in the final minute of the opening quarter. CQ Stadium in College Park, Maryland, the venue today. Off this draw, Trainer going to the cage. He scores! Dante Trainer.
Juice goal for the Maryland Terrapins. You tie the game up, you lose a player, or what probably should have been a flag, a make it take it for the Maryland Terrapins, and the football player, Dante Trader. How about the pickup from Geppert? And Trader, right down Route 1, is able to high-low it. How about the communication between Geppert and Wierman? Wierman flicks it to Geppert, great pickup. Full head of steam coming downhill. Dante Trader finds the back of the cage.
Takes a mere 13 seconds after Spanos tied it. Trader, who has goals in 3 of his last 6. Wierman wins the draw. Kelly finds a trailer. It's the long stick midfielder, Jack McDonald. They'll balance up here and have 30 seconds. The shot clock's turned off. As you see Wierman's numbers at the top of the screen, just tremendous face-off efficiency, giving Maryland to make it take.
In the goal mouth, you may have seen a flag thrown because he was hit from behind. And the new ruling this year is if you are forced into that goal mouth after you score by an illegal defensive play, goal counts. And how about that to end the first quarter?
The hitting intensifies. Maryland with 3 goals in a 56-second span. Spanos, Trader, and
that Ohio State defense, Hudgens, Van Buren, and Snyder amongst the best in the conference.
They'll be challenged. Rutgers is scoring goals aplenty. once more this season. Big Ten Conference opener starting as Trader heats one up from deep. He scores! It trickled in off of Frassian.
One score 4 straight, and a 1-goal lead has turned into a 3-goal hole. Wierman and Trader. Last time it was Geppert and Trader. Frassian saw this, and it just went through his stick, basically. High heat. Nothing fancy about it, but great velocity, and Frassian can't keep it out of the back.
As Coach Tambroni talks it over, Dante Trader's second 2-goal game of the season. He had a couple of tallies in a win over Syracuse. It's 4 unanswered goals now for Maryland in a 68-second stretch.
And things just went from bad to worse for the Penn State Nittany Lions. That was the third face-off violation for Penn State, resulting in the illegal procedure penalty. That means every violation from here until the end of the first half will result in a 30-second man down for the Nittany Lions.
Whenever Wierman gets on a roll, as he did towards the tail end of that opening quarter, it forces you into a second move, a counter move, and then you get fidgety and you jump.
Yeah, that's where you just have to show whistle discipline and try to play from behind.
7 Eastern, only on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Maryland working quickly and efficiently. Another snapshot score from Kohler.
Worst case scenario for the Penn State Nittany Lions, you call the timeout, try to settle your guys down, get a possession, and instead it is the 4th short stick D midfielder goal for the Maryland Terrapins. Look at Kohler just get inside of the defense. I mean, this is like an offensive rotation right here. Geppert to Maltz. Kohler gets underneath. He's just dragging a guy to the crease to try to play maybe a little 5-on-5, a little cat and mouse. Kohler gets free, whips it home.
Coach Tambroni's team reeling. They need a possession here. They're going to switch to Hudson Bond. See if he can have any success against Wierman. Wierman's rolling. Another possession for Maryland.
Yeah, you just got to some way, somehow. We talked about Penn State, 20-1er. Great response from the Nittany Lions.
First team all-conference in America East, Kevin Winkoff. A season ago, Maryland continues to rule matters at the face-off dot. This ball gets away, though. Looking for Donovan Lacey, another short stick defensive midfielder, and it's scooped by Posey. He has goals in 6 straight. It's 9-4 for Maryland. Finally, a draw win collected by Penn State. And Hudson Bond does the honors, getting his team a much-needed possession. Now Penn State will on against Wierman at the dot. Wierman comes up with it. On the season, Wierman, 63%. Garrett Gibbons, who helps the Terps in the clearing game, 24 in the white, brings it along, and then we hear the timeout called. With 8 dot, Bond on the season, just over 51% effective. He's subbing in for Chase Mullins, the normal starter, and it is Bond who comes up with possession for the Nittany Lions in blue.
The defensive communication on the 2-man game.
Matt Costin's first ever goal with Penn State came against Maryland. He has another one against the Terps. Penn State has the ball again. All of a sudden, Hudson Bond has figured out Luke Wierman. And the Nittany Lions said that his squad didn't shoot the ball particularly well. In this stretch, in the last 3-4 minutes, they are dead-eye accurate. And within one, as we get a flag off the draw.
It's going to be another violation on Penn State. So a man-down opportunity again. Jeff Tambroni doesn't like the call.
31, delay 30 seconds, face-off violation.
So actually it's a delay of game on Penn State. It's not a procedure. I'd have to watch the replay to see exactly what happened there, but delay of game is different from procedure. So a man down. Coming up again for, I'm not sure where the delay of game was, but in any event, Maryland has the extra man.
And they've been effective today hovering around 50% for the season. They were 0-2 in their big win over Virginia last weekend. Murphy with a rocket that misses on the short side. With his career best 4 goals in that big win over Virginia. He has tallies in 5 of 6. Wierman gets the draw, goes right to the cooker. Wierman at the horn, bounced it wide. We are done with 30 minutes in College Park. A very entertaining game. Coach Tillman's squad, a lead by 2. First of 2019, so we're closing in on the 4-year anniversary of that. Mark Dixon, it was Jeff Tambroni who said, just shoot with confidence today. Let it go against the youngster Ruppel. They started to pick him apart a little bit in that second half. Ruppel, though, made a key stop late in the second quarter to keep and preserve Maryland's lead.
Yeah, he really did. But at the end of the day, Brian Ruppel, he's still a freshman, and he's played terrific. 3-1 record. Saved the day for the Terps last weekend, but at the end of the day, he's still a freshman. And Penn State, they've got some guys who can bring it and sling it, and we'll see what adjustments each team makes to involving the short stick D middies.
Ruppel, after a wild scramble, took the ball from Geppert. Now Kohler goes to the cage, and Frassian denies him the hat trick.
Yeah, and I flow.
Trainer had 3 different 4-goal games a season ago. He's got 4 today. Bond gets the draw, going right to the cage. Bounce shot kicked out of there by Ruppel. The long rebound belongs to Lacey, and Maryland looks to run.
Another great save by Ruppel. We're going to have a delayed flag. It's going to be a slash. Looks like Lacey. Penn State, Aldridge, if he picks that ground ball up, it kills the play. Maryland just goes 6-on-5. As it is, it's a slow whistle. Maryland scores. Man-up opportunity potentially coming up for the Terps.
Face-off control for Geppert. Wow. There's a push call. They're going to give this ball possession now to Penn State in the traveling blue. Alone, looking for Matt Costin.
Big break for Penn State there, Joe. Maryland coaching staff not happy, but they called interference on Wierman, a little bit of a hold as he got it into space. So that is in the first half. John Tillman used a second timeout at the end of halftime because he didn't burn both of them in the first half. Logan came out wearing shorts, and then he got hurt. And then it became, well, John called that timeout because they wanted, Logan was already injured, and they wanted extra time to work on.
Day in, day out, you can count on him to get his name on that score sheet.
Without question. And he's the guy that Maryland has the party last year, and then he wakes up and he's like, where did I go? You know, he's the guy left. He's the catalyst. He's the most experienced.
Sloppy passing there from the Terps, giving Penn State possession. Coach Tillman. Dean Linke and Jesse Schwartzman, your announced team. Michigan winning 2 of its 3 in Ann Arbor this season. Wierman against Bond on the draw as it's kicked loose to the sideline. Tracking it down was Sickler. The ball belongs to the Maryland Terrapins as Geppert will claim it. A week ago, it was Jack Corus who had a huge hand in that win over then #1 ranked Virginia. Corus scored a career best 4. He's got a game-high 3 for the Terps. 3 of the last 4 Maryland goals coming from number 22 in the white to make it 13-9.
The 3.
Winkoff, the 5th leading scorer for Penn State this season. Huge draw here, and it is Wierman who comes up with possession, but then scoops and flicks it to the sideline. But there was a whistle. It's a timeout taken by Maryland.
Yeah, and he did theoretically have possession, even though he threw it out of bounds. Penn State not really happy with the timeout call. But had John Tillman not burned that timeout, again, another uncharacteristic move, uncharacteristic turnover from an experienced player of the Maryland Terrapins.
Just past the top of the hour now. That's Mark Dixon. I'm Joe Beninati. As we shout out thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew here in College Park and in Chicago.
Wins it forward, picks it up. Ooh, that's close. You got to be in the box when you have possession. And I'm not so sure Wierman had it when he entered that restraining area. So Maryland may have caught a break right there. Let's see. He has it. I think Jeff Tambroni and the Penn State coaching staff have a good beef with that timeout being granted to the Terrapins.
Twice beaten Maryland, losses at Loyola and here against Notre Dame in overtime. Coach Tambroni's squad, a couple of losses at Villanova and in a neutral site game to Marquette last week. Penn State with big road wins over then number 7 Yale, then number 3 Cornell, trying to knock number 2 off today in College Park.